10 animals that can live after death. There are many things in the animal kingdom that we humans find astounding and even quite mysterious. One of these is the fact that some species have the special capability of demonstrating life even after being technically dead. Here are 10 animals that can live after death. But wait, before we get to the list, see the spider in my hand? It's going to keep crawling slowly away from you if you click the like and subscribe button now. Do it to make my buddy happy. Number 10. Chickens. Chickens have the peculiar ability of still being able to run around even with their heads cut off, which is why we have the saying, running around like a headless chicken. The reason for this is because the chicken's central nervous system is different from humans in a way that some bodily functions are controlled not just by the brain, but also by certain parts of the brainstem. This is why when a chicken's head is chopped off, the brainstem and cerebellum is still intact, which prods movement from the rest of its body. A chicken's body can continue to breathe even without its head, but will eventually starve itself to actual death. Number 9. Cockroaches. One of the most tenacious creatures on the planet, cockroaches have the reputation of possibly having the capacity to outlive humanity. They can live for 2 weeks even after having their heads squished or severed. They are able to survive decapitation because of their open circulatory system, allowing wounds to immediately clot off. So if their head is lopped off, the wound just closes naturally. They also breathe through little holes on their bodies called spiracles, allowing them to continue living until they also starve away. Number 8. Bees. When a bee dies, it usually stays dead. However, there's an important part of it that remains to function, and it's the most important part, its stinger. A bee's stinger, more particularly its venom delivery system, still works even after a bee is long dead. When a bee stings, its stinger gets detached from its body, leaving it embedded onto the skin of its victim. Within the stinger is a tiny organ that contains the bee venom and a tiny muscle that pumps it out. This is an involuntary impulse natural to the bee, or rather its stinger, which is why you should never pick up a bee on the ground when you think it's already lifeless. Chances are you'll regret it after still getting stung by a dead bee. Number 7. Octopus. A weird experience that you can encounter in most seafood restaurants is the peculiarity of an octopus still being able to move its tentacles even if these tentacles have already been chopped off. Even its suction caps, or the suckers located on an octopus's arms, can function normally even when they're already in a plate or even forked inside someone's mouth to be eaten. The reason for this post-mortem mobility is because octopi have a unique central nervous system. 2 out of 3 nerve cells of an octopus aren't located in the brain, but rather within its tentacles and arms that continue reacting to stimuli even if they're no longer connected to the main brain, or the whole body for that matter. This is why these appendages are still able to respond even after the octopus is already dead. Researchers have analyzed mobility of an octopus's arms, which still show signs of movement a week after an octopus's death. Number 6. Salamanders. Salamanders are known to live for as much as 50 to 55 years and is often believed to have regenerative abilities that make this creature unique. They can regrow parts of their body that have been chopped off, with these regrown parts functioning much even better at times than the original parts they replaced. This is because of a special protein within this amphibian that focuses on the replication of cells. In fact, scientists continue to study this amazing feature in hopes that we may one day be able to benefit from this regenerative ability. Number 5. Frogs. What happens when a frog's brain is taken out of its head? Apparently, nothing. It's been discovered that frogs can continue to move around even when they're already brain dead. Scientists are studying the peculiar phenomenon of having a headed but brainless frog that still behaves like a perfectly intact frog. Place it upside down and it'll rise itself back up. Pinch its feet and it will hop away. Put it in water and it can still swim and climb out of the water. These frogs can still even croak without a brain. This weird ability is said to be due to the reflex reaction and natural instinct, which continues to fire electrical impulses within a frog's body even without a brain to detect it. Number 4. Flies. Flies have the ability of surviving through intense temperatures, able to go into suspended animation, especially in freezing temperatures. They can go for days in the state, extending their lifespan well enough till warmer climate comes. This has been demonstrated by scientists and even magicians who reanimate suspended or dead-looking flies simply by touching them. The warm body heat thaws them out and snaps them back to the land of the living. Female flies have also been known to have the capacity of living for several days without a head attached to it. These female flies can still do complex actions, such as flying, walking, and even entertain male flies trying to court a decapitated female fly. Now that may be peculiar, but that's simply nature. Number 3. Turtles. All fish, reptiles, birds, and mammals, even us, have pacemaker cells that allow our hearts to continue functioning for just a while even when our brains are no longer functioning. Turtles, however, have the ability of having its heart supplemented by its coursing blood, but does not rely on the nutrients and oxygen from it. This is because turtles can survive through the oxygen that they absorb through their skin in contact with the water. Oxygen is absorbed through their skin, throat, and other parts, allowing them the potential of producing energy even without oxygen, which is why they can stay for super long durations underwater. A turtle's heart even has its own fuel sac, which acts as reserves. Number 2. Snakes. Even when you cut the head of a snake, it still maintains a deadly reputation due to the fact that its fangs and deadly poison still have the ability to bite you. Through natural instinct and reflex, a snakehead can still bite and deliver deadly venom, which can severely cause harm or even paralysis and death. Snakes are very heat sensitive, with pits located on either side of its face. These sensors detect threats and can function even hours after death. This allows a severed snake's head to instinctively defend itself and bite a victim even if it's literally already dead. This is why you should always be cautious when encountering a perceived dead snake on the ground. Number 1. Flatworms. Flatworms are creatures famous for being masters of regeneration, able to rebuild any part of their bodies even after amputation. Cut a flatworm in half, and its tail portion will grow a head, and its head portion will grow a tail. Isn't that incredible? Slice one up into 10 pieces and you'll find 10 new worms have grown in its place. Scientists at Nottingham's University even replicated a colony of 20,000 worms from one single original worm, all from splicing it up. These worms completely regrow into newer and even better worms, with organs that don't even appear to age. So, what do you think about these 10 animals that can live after death? Let us know in the comments below. And take a look at our picture of the day of one decapitated snake that's still slithering even while it's on its way to meet its maker. If you have some strange photos that you think are worthy, send them to us and we'll probably feature it on our next video.